Another 8 ways to accidentally gain weight. What if your weight gain isn't from eating too much or moving too little, but from things that feel totally normal? In a moment, we're going to break down 8 more of the most common ways that people gain weight without even realizing it. Some are so subtle they feel like they couldn't possibly matter, but they do. And by the end of the episode, we're going to give you some practical tips to help avoid each one without getting obsessive or overwhelmed. Now, if you haven't seen our first video on this, there's a link up top. Go watch that one now. We'll wait. Eating on autopilot. Okay, now let's get into today's topic. Sometimes the real problem isn't what you're eating, it's how. In this segment, we'll look at 3 weight gain triggers that stem from distraction, skipping meals, or lack of meal structure. First, mindless eating while distracted. When you eat in front of a screen, your brain doesn't fully register what's going in. This study found that people who ate while distracted consumed 10% more in that sitting, and up to 25% more later in the day. TV, phones, and multitasking all reduce memory of the meal, which tricks your body into feeling like you didn't eat enough. Our tips here? Put your phone or TV on pause and eat without the screens, even just for 10 minutes. Also, use smaller plates and bowls to create visual boundaries that reduce overeating. Second, skipping meals, especially breakfast. Think skipping breakfast saves calories? Think again. In fact, it can disrupt your body's balance for the entire day. This clinical trial revealed that skipping breakfast led to higher total calorie intake over the whole day, as participants overcompensated with more snacking later. Furthermore, skipping the morning meal caused dramatically larger glucose and insulin spikes after lunch. These powerful insulin surges are a key signal that tells your body to store energy as fat. Tips here include, at the very least, have something for breakfast. Get some protein within the first 1 to 2 hours of waking up to help stabilize your hormones. Also, if you just can't get breakfast, go for a brief walk and get some good morning light exposure. Really, skipping breakfast to save calories is like skipping the gas station to save money. And third, constant grazing. That is, no meal structure. Snacking all day might feel harmless, but grazing throughout the day, especially without structured meals, can disrupt appetite regulation and lead to overeating. This review found that higher eating frequency was often associated with increased total calorie intake. Over time, this pattern contributes to weight gain, especially if the body never gets a break to recalibrate appetite hormones like insulin and ghrelin. Here, you can try setting a meal schedule with 3 structured meals and at most 1 to 2 planned snacks. And close the kitchen after dinner to train your body to stop expecting food around the clock. Quick favor, if you find this information helpful, please hit that like button. It's a small click, but it would really help us grow. Thanks. When biology slows the burn. Next, let's talk about how your body's biology can work against you, especially if you're losing muscle, skimping on fiber, or not getting the nutrients your metabolism depends on. First, muscle loss means lower baseline burn. Muscle is metabolically active. When you lose it, your resting calorie burn drops. This study-based article explains that losing muscle, whether from crash dieting or aging, lowers your resting calorie burn. It also reinforces that less muscle means fewer calories burned, even when doing the same activities. Here we recommend strength train 2 to 3 times per week. Even simple exercises like squats, push-ups, or climbing stairs at home count. Also, aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal to help preserve lean mass as you lose weight. Second is low fiber intake. Fiber does more than regulate digestion. It slows the absorption of food and increases feelings of fullness. Yet most people fall far short on intake. This report showed that over 90% of Americans don't meet daily fiber recommendations. Low fiber leads to larger blood sugar swings, faster digestion, and more frequent hunger, all of which encourage overeating. Tips here? Eat at least 1 high-fiber food at every meal, like berries, lentils, or leafy greens. Also, replace refined carbs like white bread with whole food options like oats or even popcorn, but watch the butter. And third, micronutrient deficiencies. Missing key nutrients like iron or magnesium can quietly impair metabolism and reduce energy output. This review summarized studies showing that women with iron deficiency, especially without anemia, experience lower aerobic capacity and greater fatigue during physical activity. Magnesium also plays a key role in glucose and fat metabolism, and both deficiencies are common, particularly among women, vegetarians, and those eating heavily processed foods. Here, you can add iron-rich foods such as lentils, spinach, or beef and magnesium sources like pumpkin seeds or legumes. You can also find out if this is a factor for you by getting some labs done, especially if you feel tired despite having enough sleep or exercise. By the way, if you're enjoying this and want more, check out our newsletter. Each month we'll send you quick takeaways from past episodes, answers to common questions, drug updates in between videos, and a fresh myth bust, straight to your inbox, once a month, no spam. Subscribe now. Links in the description. Hormones out of balance. Now let's look at a final group of triggers, subtle hormonal shifts tied to gut health and sodium intake. These aren't fringe ideas. They're well supported by science and more common than you'd think. First, gut microbiome disruption. Your gut bacteria affect how your body processes food, extract calories, and store fat. This study linked disrupted gut diversity to higher visceral fat, even when diet was controlled. Antibiotics, food additives, and stress can all reduce healthy microbial diversity, tipping the scale toward weight gain. Here we recommend eating fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, or sauerkraut to restore beneficial bacteria, and limit ultra-processed foods and artificial sweeteners, which also disrupt gut diversity. And finally, excess sodium disrupts hormones. Too much salt doesn't just affect blood pressure, it can alter fat-regulating hormones. This study found that high salt intake increased ghrelin, the hunger hormone, decreased GLP-1, a fullness hormone, and reduced insulin sensitivity. These hormonal shifts can increase cravings and promote fat storage, even when calorie intake doesn't increase. And yes, that includes pink salt. Tips here include checking labels to try to stay under 2,300 milligrams of salt per day, or lower if you're salt sensitive. Also, cooking more at home using herbs, spices, and citrus for flavor, instead of relying on salty sauces or takeout. Eli Lilly just inked an $870 million deal with Camurus to develop long-acting versions of its blockbuster weight loss drugs like Mounjaro and Zepbound. These next-gen formulations could extend dosing intervals from weekly to monthly or even longer. Why? Because dosing frequency is quickly becoming a new battleground. The less often people have to inject, the more likely they are to stay on the drugs. Camurus tech turns liquid drugs into crystalline gels that slowly release over time. Lilly is hoping to use it for GLP-1, GIP, and triple agonists like retatrutide, possibly even for amylin-based compounds down the line. You can help maximize the effects of your current GLP-1 doses in the meantime by prioritizing habits that reduce the dose burden. Fewer skipped meals, better hydration, and a consistent sleep-wake cycle. These help keep hormone rhythms stable between doses. We'll keep our eye on this one for you. Full article linked in the description. And here's a meme we think you'll enjoy. Have an idea for a future meme? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. If we use your idea, we'll give you a shout out in the description. So, weight gain doesn't always come from big indulgences. Sometimes it's the small stuff, skipping meals, grazing, not getting proper trace minerals, or losing muscle. Those things all add up. Today we looked at 8 more sneaky causes of accidental weight gain. The good news? You can do something about every one of them. Focus on building meals with real structure, watch your fiber, don't skip protein. And if your gut is off or salt intake is too high, that might be why cravings feel so hard to control. Well, that's the show for today. If this kind of content interests you, hit that subscribe button because I'll be diving into the latest trends, drug updates, and expert insights every week. Have a topic you'd like covered? Let us know in the comments. And a quick reminder, I am not a doctor. You should always talk to your own doctor before making changes to your diet or medications. Now, if you liked this video, you may be interested in this other one on helping you to reset your metabolic clock. Weight gain over 30 isn't destiny. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.